A jury has just found the 3 white men who pursued and murdered a black jogger in their neighborhood guilty of murder. The nearly all-white jury has convicted Travis McMichael of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. Now, his father, Gregory McMichael, was found on nearly all charges as well, except for the malice murder charge. So still felony murder. And William Roddie Bryan, who filmed the McMichaels confronting Arbery, was found guilty on 7 out of 9 charges, including multiple felony murder counts. All of them are now facing life in prison. And to that I say, I probably should have started out, this segment with...
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Well, we got him. More importantly, we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery. And that's the most important part.
We fucking nailed him!
But I just had to add that. Because the McMichaels, horrible people. So now, let me give you some background details. So the McMichaels and Bryan had actually chased Arbery in a pickup truck, or in 2 pickup trucks, sorry, after they spotted him in their neighborhood. He was just jogging, and what happened was an altercation that followed, and Travis McMichael ended up shooting Arbery, who, again, was black, with a shotgun at close range, and while Bryan was filming with a cell phone. Now, those 3 men actually ended up getting arrested over 2 months later, after the video was leaked. So understand, it took so long, and we look at this verdict today, this guilty verdict, which, I mean, is huge. And you look at that and you compare it to how long it took to actually bring charges, and you realize that that system was rigged against Ahmaud Arbery and the family at the start. And that had there not been national attention, they would have gotten away with it, with what was a modern day lynching. And so now, of course, the reasons, you had a lot of prosecutorial misconduct. You had 3 prosecutors that were replaced. Why? 3 of them had ties to Gregory McMichael. 2 of them had recused themselves. And actually, Gregory McMichael had been an investigator for the 3rd prosecutor, the 3rd district attorney. And so she did not recuse herself originally. She had to get removed because she had obvious ties. And so not only that, but you had the McMichaels lying to the police during their encounter, and the police just saying, oh yeah, a black guy, totally makes sense. Yep, a lot of racism in the system here today. But of course, Republicans will tell you, it doesn't exist. Racism, what do you mean racism? Racism doesn't exist. Are you kidding me? So now, that 4th one, the 4th prosecutor though, Lisa Dunikowski, did a fantastic job. She just did an absolutely fantastic job. She pointed out very well that this was not self-defense, and that this was just basically a modern-day lynching. She used the but-for defense, but for the decisions and the assumptions made by the McMichaels, Ahmaud Arbery would be alive today. Now, the defense, of course, used their own tactics, trying to, of course, scare the jury, use fears of black men being predators and criminals, and dirty, long toenails, which was disgusting. And then said, well, there's a string of burglaries, and that the residents were understandably scared because black people were coming into their neighborhood. Oh, the neighborhood, it had changed. It was once idyllic, but now there was crime. They were bringing crime. They were bringing drugs. Have you heard that before? Yeah. You know how many robberies there was actually that were reported? 1. Just 1. The Glynn County Police Department said that it had 0 reports involving burglaries or home break-ins in the Satilla Shores neighborhood between January 1st and February 23rd. So that's going back a few months before Arbery was shot and killed. Local media reported that there was 1 burglary, an automobile burglary. reported to police in the City of the Shores neighborhood during that time, which is a fairly, nice neighborhood as far as wealthy. But hey, look, scary black men, they're sneaking around. They're looking into unfinished houses on camera, but they were doing nothing. A string of one consecutive burglaries, says Ravaging Wolverine, one of our viewers. Yep, absolutely. Again, he was just on security camera visiting a house that was partially built, something that normal people also do. Yeah, weird. Robbery from an unlocked vehicle, also true. Now, the videos, again, didn't show Arbery taking anything from the property. In fact, the last video was recorded the afternoon that he was shot and killed. Arbery was visiting the home minutes before he was chased by Gregory and Travis McMichael, being joined in later by William Roddie Bryan. The defense had also sought to convince the jury, unsuccessfully, that their clients were trying to execute a citizen's arrest, which was legal at the time. So now understand that that was an old law that was on the Georgia books. And it actually went back to slavery. Okay? And it's good that it's gone, because what they would do, basically what the law was used for, was to go and arrest escaped slaves. That's it. Now, of course, the law, as it most recently stood, only allowed somebody to detain another person if they were in the commission of a crime, the immediate commission of a crime. But they, understand that Arbery was not in the middle of a crime. And even if you had been, that still doesn't mean that you can corner someone, run them off the road, and then shoot and kill them. Arbery's only crime was running while black and refusing to obey a white man with a gun. That's what it was. In fact, during the trial, McMichael had testified, no, I was just defending myself because I was struck. But then later on, during cross-examination by Dunikowski on the second day of testimony, said that Arbery hadn't shown a weapon or even spoken to him at all before McMichael had pointed his weapon at him, and admitted that Arbery was not a threat. Which, again, makes this murder. Now, felony murder and malice murder, understand that in Georgia, there are no different degrees. There's no first or second degree murder. So there's malice and felony. So now, let me explain that. Felony murder is actually committed when a person causes the death of another person while committing a felony. Malice murder refers to when someone causes the death of another person unlawfully and with malice aforethought, either express or implied. So I don't necessarily know which the jury had decided on for Travis McMichael, whether it be express or implied malice murder. But it's essentially interchangeable as far as sentencing goes, both with a minimum of life in prison. But let me further get into the details here about the difference. Express malice involves a deliberate intention to take the life of another human. Malice is implied when the killing is unprovoked, and all the circumstances of the killing show an abandoned and malignant heart. So, but again, the distinction here is, there's not really a big difference here, other than what you're referring it to be. The end is basically the same. So now federal authorities, by the way, and this is not all for the McMichaels, they still have, of course, to be sentenced, and federal authorities have also charged him with hate crimes, alleging that they had chased and killed Arbery because he was black. I think there's enough evidence to prove that, for sure, going back to the case the prosecutor had made about the assumptions that were made. Was black. He was in a white neighborhood. He was jogging. He looked into a house that was under construction, and they thought he looked scary because, again, black man in a nice upper middle class neighborhood. That case is scheduled to go on trial in February. So this is not over yet for them. Good, because look. It needs to be said, there needs to be a message sent. You're going to go and you're going to play armed vigilante and chase someone down because they're black, because they look suspicious. Well, you're not following the law. Don't take the law into your own hands because you're actually breaking the law and you're probably racist at that. So just don't do it. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.